This right here will save you time and probably a few rage quits too. If you actually want to improve and rank up, watching pros is the move. But here's the catch. Most players copy the wrong stuff. They see flashy mechanics, try them in-game, and still get cooked. So in this video, we're keeping it real. We'll break down what actually matters. Stuff like first touch, controlling off-ball players, using space properly, spotting attacking patterns, and reading defenders. Aggressive ones, those aggressive ones who suffocate you with pressure. And passive ones, those who sit deep and let the AI defend for them. You will learn how to deal with them. It's a full formula on how you can play, enjoy the game, and win without using many fancy mechanics. Just simply effective football. These are the keys that take you from Division 4 stress to elite level flow. Let's dive in. Controlling the ball in this game might seem like a basic, easy thing, but trust me, even pros mess it up in tight moments. It's actually one of those little mechanics that can make a huge difference if you're trying to improve. If you want to start keeping possession like a serious player, this is where the journey begins. So, how do we control the ball properly first? It's all about safety. That means avoiding those wild, heavy touches when receiving the ball. Don't go full sprint mode unless you're running into open space with no pressure around. Otherwise, you're just asking to lose the ball. Then, control the ball away from the opponent's defender. When you receive the pass, position yourself smartly. Make sure your player is between the ball and the defender. Think of your body like a shield. The opponent has to go through you to get that ball. And in this game, that's not easy. So yes, controlling the ball is crucial. But here's the catch. You can't just control it for vibes. You need to control it knowing exactly what you want to do next. That's how you stay one step ahead. And to make that possible every time, you've got to be controlling your off-ball players. That means knowing when to send them forward, when to call them short, basically managing your movement off the ball as much as on it. It depends on the situation, but if you're not mastering this, you're missing out on easy chances. Let's start with sending players forward, and for that, we've got 3 meta tools. First up, the L1 pass. This one is like magic. It's a simple pass and move mechanic. Your player passes, then immediately makes a forward run. To pull it off, just press L1 plus pass and boom, your player keeps the ball moving and creates space. This trick is absolutely deadly in wide areas, especially if your opponent is constantly dragging their fullback out of position. If he overcommits even once, your winger is already sprinting into that space and you're in. Honestly, it's one of the most broken ways to bait your opponent's fullback out and punish them for it. Now here's a question. What if you want to send a player who's not even on the ball? Does it mean you have to pass to him first, then play it back just to make him run? Yeah, it works. But honestly, most times it just wastes time and kills the momentum. That's where the L1 run comes in. You can send your players forward without even touching the ball. And here's how it works. Just aim the left analog towards the player you want to send, then press L1. Simple as that. He starts making that forward run. This is crucial, especially when you want to push players into space while they're just standing still like statues. Some players feel like they didn't show up to play, so don't wait around for them to wake up. Get into the habit of manually sending them forward. It'll seriously level up your attack. This L1 run, you can use it to set up through pass situations. Trigger your striker, time the pass right, and boom, you're in behind. It's also a great way to speed up your build-up. Like before you even pass to your winger or striker, trigger the run first so they receive the ball already on the move. That movement sets the tone of the attack. And even mid-pass, like while the ball is still traveling, you can trigger the next player to run. No need to wait for the ball to get there. It's all about tempo, rhythm, and keeping the pressure on the defense. You can't just be sending players forward and forcing situations every time. Sometimes that'll leave you stranded with no options at all. So you've got to learn to call them back. That's real control. When you can send them and call them like a puppeteer, now you're building confidence and rhythm. To call a player back or short, just aim the left analog at him and tap R1. Boom, he'll stop and pull back for a safer, shorter option. You can use this to bring strikers out of offside traps or tight marks. They'll step back, give you the angle, and receive the ball clean. Like when you're driving inside and need support, you can call your player short into space. It sets up an easy pass and lets you move into more dangerous areas. A lot of players overlook this trick, but it's honestly one of those simple, underrated mechanics that can completely shift the momentum, especially when everyone else is just blindly running forward for no reason. Using space, even the tiniest pocket of it, is one of the most underrated weapons in FC25. Think of space like oxygen for your attack. It might not always look dangerous, but once you step into it, defenders have no choice but to react. They panic. They stretch, and just like that, something opens up elsewhere. Let's break it down. The moment you exploit open space, even a little channel between the lines or on the wing, you force the opponent to make a decision. Does he bring a defender out of shape to close you down? If he does, great. You've just disorganized his backline. Now you've got passing angles, gaps between center backs, or a clear switch to the other side. That one move pulls strings across the whole pitch. And here's the deeper layer. Using space early keeps your rhythm unpredictable. Defenders hate players who don't just dribble into pressure, but instead drift into pockets, force reactions, and play the ball smartly. It makes you look composed, like you're in full control of the tempo. Also, mentally, it wears down your opponent. When you keep using space properly, they start to hesitate. They stop pressing confidently because every time they step, you make them pay somewhere else. That's when you take over the game. So yeah, never underestimate a little pocket of grass. Use it, stretch them, shift them, and when they crack, punish. That's the art of manipulating space in FC25. Let's talk about unpredictability, or what I like to call the art of making defenders guess wrong. One of the biggest mistakes average players make is being too predictable with their dribbling. They go in straight lines. They show too much of their plan. Like, hey defender, I'm about to sprint forward now, and that's exactly what top players punish. If you want to beat those defenders who like reading your play, you need to master the art of faking, sell the dream, then go the other way. Take this first clip, for example. I control the ball moving in one direction, and immediately the opponent reads that and tries to react. But before he even settles, I turn and go the opposite way. That defender left frozen. Why? Because I broke the pattern. That's the key. Some defenders are readers. They scan your body angle, your touches, and try to anticipate. If you always go where you're facing, you'll never break them. But if you shift directions just before they bite, you leave them behind like statues. Now the second clip is a classic fake out. I'm dribbling forward, then suddenly slow down and pretend like I'm about to turn back. That slight hesitation, it tricks the opponent into stepping wide, and boom, I turn back into the original direction and leave him completely misread. It's all about body language. Make it look like you're turning away, then hit them with the snapback. Timing here is everything. Let them bite, then punish. Now this last one shows a deeper level. I'm still dribbling, but constantly changing directions. Zigzagging, not giving the defender any rhythm to read. Then I pass. And again, zigzag, pass again. Then when I receive the ball with my running teammate, I'm still not done. I keep that unpredictability going. Few direction shifts. Then boom. I release a deep through ball into space. That entire sequence leaves the defense confused and chasing shadows because I never gave them a stable moment to read my intentions. So the point is this: unpredictability in dribbling isn't just about flair, it's a mental game. You're setting traps, you're selling fake turns, you're resetting your body shape to confuse positioning, and you're dragging defenders into bad decisions step by step. If you can master this, defenders won't just struggle. They'll hesitate. And once a defender starts hesitating, the game is yours. Let's talk about patterns and why they matter more than people think. If you want to be consistent in FC25, you can't just rely on vibes. You need patterns. That's how pro players score, not by luck, but by creating repeatable situations where they know what to expect. Think about it like this. You're not just passing the ball around. You're shaping a play that's already happened before and will happen again. Let's start with a simple example. Triangle passing. You build up by imagining 3 players in a triangle, not just looking at who's next to the ball, but who's ahead and who's supporting. Once you start visualizing those shapes, it's like your brain enters a creative flow. You're not reacting anymore, you're orchestrating. You're one step ahead. The beauty of patterns is they give you freedom. You trust them. You can predict movement, anticipate space, and most importantly, you stay alert. You're no longer second-guessing. You're just flowing through something you've already trained your brain to recognize. Now here's where it gets deeper. Every player has their own patterns. Some are natural. Some you steal from pros. Others, you get humbled by an opponent who rinses you and you quietly take notes. But what matters is, once you've got those patterns, use them. Recognize them in-game. Trigger them when the opportunity pops up. Because here's the truth. The game is repetitive. The same situations come back over and over. And when they do, you want to be the player who knows exactly how to react, not the one panicking. Even when the opponent starts adjusting and tries to block those patterns, that's where player control kicks in. You reposition your off-ball runners, reset the shape, and boom, the pattern is live again. So don't sleep on this. Develop your style. Now look, patterns are important, but here's where a lot of players go wrong. They start becoming robots, predictable. And in FC25, if you become too readable, even a mid-tier defender will start clamping you up. So it's all about balance, when to lean on your patterns and when to break out of them completely. And that decision, it always depends on how your opponent defends. That's the real game. Let's start with passive defenders. You'll notice them immediately. They rarely switch players. They love to drop back with one defender and just sit, hoping the AI handles things for them. They're the wait-and-see type, and that's where you flip the switch. You have to be quick, clean, and direct. Don't overthink it. Hit your patterns fast. Move the ball forward at speed. Force them into making decisions they're not comfortable with. Because the truth is, these players hate pressure. If you pass with intent and create fast angles, they'll panic. And when they do, that's when you punish. Now let's talk aggressive defenders. These guys want to win the ball early. They're constantly switching, trying to predict your next move. It's almost like they want to defend your attack before it even happens. The key here is patience. Slow the tempo. Not too slow, just enough to keep them guessing. You need to move unpredictably. Fake turns, quick changes of direction, vary your tempo. The moment they overread or rush a tackle, boom. That's your cue. That's when the space opens up because they've dragged someone out of position. And now you turn it up. Go fast. Be decisive. That's how you punish over-aggression. You bait them, wait for the mistake, then strike. Now here's the twist. You can manipulate these behaviors. If you play fast, aggressive, forward-thinking football, your opponent will naturally become reactive. They'll start switching fast, dragging players, and that's exactly what you want. But that manipulation technique, it deserves a video of its own. For now, just remember this. Patterns give you structure, but reading the defender gives you power. Learn when to trust your system and when to break out of it and freestyle. That's what makes you truly dangerous. If you made it this far, thank you. You can now show love directly to the channel by dropping a super thanks. It's like a small tip that helps me keep pushing content consistently, even through tough months.